What if I told you Nigeria just secured a goalkeeper trained at one of the biggest clubs in Europe, but hardly anyone is talking about him? His name is Arthur Okonkwo, born in England, developed at Arsenal, now officially cleared to play for Nigeria. And this might quickly solve one of the biggest Super Eagles problem, which is in the goalkeepers department. Arthur Okonkwo has completed his international switch from England to Nigeria. And while it may not look like a big headline yet, it could be a major turning point for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We will be breaking down who Arthur Okonkwo is. Arthur Okonkwo was born on September 9, 2001 in London, England. He is of a Nigerian descent and has long been on the radar as one of the promising young goalkeepers in England. Standing at about 6 foot 6 inches, he immediately stands out physically. He is tall, commanding, and built like a modern goalkeeper. When you talk about goalkeepers who really has this kind of height that he has, you could call names like Manenoa, Thibaut Courtois, and the rest of them. He came through the ranks of Arsenal Academy, the Hale End, one of the most competitive youth systems in Europe, where he developed his game with a strong emphasis on ball playing and composure. Arthur is not the only footballer in his family. His younger brother, Brian, was also a goalkeeper at Arsenal Academy before moving to West Bromwich Academy. Aside from his brother, we've had players like Alex Iwobi, Simi Ajayi, who has also graduated from the Arsenal's Academy to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. His father and mother are from Nigeria. They immigrated to England, which made Arthur Okonkwo eligible to play for England. Okonkwo's career has been steady climb through the English football system before attending Ludus Park, where he joined Arsenal Academy in 2009 as an 8-year-old. Okonkwo started his career at Hampstead Academy. While enrolled as a player for the under-15 squad, Okonkwo excelled on the bench during an under-18 Arsenal encounter, demonstrating his rapid rise through the ranks of the academy. He also made his debut at the age of 17 with the Arsenal under-23 team. He became a senior player for Arsenal in early July 2021, wearing number 33 for the starting squad. The 13th of July 2021 marked Okonkwo's senior team debut in a pre-season friendly against Hibernian, where he made an error leading to goal. On July 29, 2022, Okonkwo went on a season-long loan to EFL League 2 team Crewe Alexandra. He soon returned to Arsenal at the end of the season, but was loaned out again to Sturm Graz in Austria, where he again displayed an exceptional qualities for a young goalkeeper, conceding 19 goals, keeping 6 clean sheets in 18 matches. He initially joined Wrexham on loan in 2023 from Arsenal, but in 2024, Wrexham bought him on a permanent deal for 1.8 million euros, and he has since then been a regular starter for Wrexham in the Championship. It was at Wrexham where things really changed for him. He became a regular starter and began to show consistency, maturity, and confidence. So far, Arthur Okonkwo has made a total of 120 appearances for Wrexham and has kept 47 clean sheets at the club. Not really bad for the young goalkeeper, for the 24-year goalkeeper. Now let's look at what the numbers really say about this goalkeeper. This season alone for Wrexham, Arthur Okonkwo has made 43 appearances, conceded 63 goals, and kept 11 clean sheets. In the Championship alone, he has 10 clean sheets in 38 games, placing him among one of the top goalkeepers in the division. But the real story is in his consistency. Across his career, Okonkwo has played 172 matches, conceded 181 goals, and kept 66 clean sheets. That works out roughly 1 clean sheet every 2 games and just about 1 goal conceded per match. And then if you really talk about the context here, he's picking up these numbers in teams where he is regularly tested. He's not playing for Manchester United that has good defense. He's not playing for an Arsenal that has very good defense. He's not playing for a Bayern Munich that you rarely test their goalkeepers. He's playing for Wrexham and he's playing in the championship. Wrexham is not a big club in the championship, so he is always tested week in and week out. The championship in particular is one of the most demanding leagues for a goalkeeper. Fast, physical, and unpredictable. And at his age, having already played over 170 senior matches, the level of exposure is the strong foundation for what is to come, and most especially for what is to come for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now let's really talk about Arthur Okonkwo's playing style. First, his physical presence changes how teams attack him. I mentioned earlier, he's tall, right? Naturally, he dominates area balls, area situation, but more importantly, he commits early. When crosses come in, he doesn't hesitate. He steps forward, claims space, and that reduces second ball chaos in the box. Then there's his shot-stopping ability. Okonkwo is not the flashy type. He's not the Andre Onana type. He relies more on positioning than acrobatics. You will notice he stays big, delays his movement, and forces attackers to make the first decision. That's a sign of a goalkeeper who reads the game rather than reacts to it. In position, he fits the modern profile. Coming through the Arsenal system, he is comfortable receiving the ball under pressure. He doesn't just clear, he looks for angles, short passes, and control builders. If you really ask me, I've watched a lot of Arthur Okonkwo's matches. You can see the composure he has. I would really liken him to an Andre Onana. He has the composure, he calms the ball down, and he distributes the ball so well. And this matters for Nigeria, if you ask me again, because the Super Eagles are trying to play out more from the back. Long balls that connect with the attackers when they are not building from the back. And that requires a goalkeeper who is calm when pressed, who is really calm under pressure. But maybe the most important part of his game is the fact that he is used to being busy. At Wrexham, he faces shots, he deals with crosses, he stays involved throughout the entire game. If you watch a lot of Arthur Okonkwo's matches, you will just realize that there are no pause moments for him. He's always in the action, 2-4, 2-7. Now let's talk about his international football trajectory. Arthur Okonkwo's international story did not start with Nigeria. Although born to Nigerian parents, the goalkeeper started in England. In 2015, he broke into the England youth setup, earning a call-up to the under-15 team before stepping up to the under-18 in 2018, where he made 5 appearances as a goalkeeper. He came through a system filled with elite young talents, players like Nathan Greenwood, Bukayo Saka, and Emile Smith-Rowe. Breaking through in that environment is difficult, especially for a goalkeeper. Opportunities are limited, competition is constant, and one mistake can set you back. Okonkwo stayed in the system, developed and gained experience, but the pathway to the senior team remained crowded, uncertain. While he was a good goalkeeper, it became difficult to break into the England senior team, with teammates like Saka, Mason Greenwood, and Smith having had call-ups to the national team at some point, and currently Saka is still in the England senior team. Arthur had to battle through established English goalkeepers like Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, mention them, and you just really know that there is no space for the 24. There is no space. England does not really have space for trials. So what will Arthur Okonkwo bring to the Super Eagles? Let's look at this properly. Nigeria's goalkeeping situation is not just about who starts today, it's about what happens next. I mean, right now there is Stanley Nwabali, the number 1 goalkeeper. He has earned that position, if you ask me, anytime, any day. He came at a point when we were hopeless and saved us, salvaged the situation for us. But he is already in his prime, 29 years old. Goalkeepers can last long, yes, but national teams do not wait for decline before planning succession. And that is where Arthur Okonkwo fits in. At 24, he is entering the stage where goalkeepers move from development into responsibility. With what he has done with Wrexham, we can't completely say he is a rising star anymore. He has taken the responsibility and carried the team on his shoulder. If you ask me over and over again, I will tell you Arthur Okonkwo is no longer a prospect. He is now building experience with purpose. For Nigeria, this is very, very important, because instead of scrambling for replacement in a few years, when we have Stanley Nwabali retiring or fading from glory, Like how we waited for Vincent Inyama retirement before replacement. We are bringing one early, allowing him to settle, understand the system, and grow into the role. Definitely, he have to come in, understudy, see what it takes to be a Super Eagles player, see what it takes to play against Ghana, against South Africa, see what it means to represent the green, white, green, and before finally stepping into the role and representing the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And I also have another layer to this. Okonkwo has been trained in a system that values build-up play. From Arsenal, now started at Wrexham, Nigeria in recent matches has tried to play more from the back. That requires a goalkeeper who is calm under pressure, comfortable to receive the ball, and capable of making decisions quickly. He may not walk straight into the starting 11 because we have top goalkeepers. We have Nwabali, we have Maduka Okoye, we have Francis Uzoho, we have Adeleye. We have a lot of goalkeepers actually. But by being around the squad now, training with the team, learning, adapting, knowing what it means to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, he shortens the transition period when his time finally comes. And will be an easy replacement if at all given the opportunity. And that is how strong national teams, Germany, Spain, Portugal, that is basically how they build, unless you want us to become like Italy. Not by reacting late, but by preparing early and finding possible replacements for our stars. Now let's look at the bigger implications. More and more, year in, year out, Nigeria is turning to players developed outside the country. Alex Iwobi, Ademola Lookman, mention them. Ola Aino, Kevin Bassey, Maduka Okoye. And here is the logic to it. These players come with structured development, exposure to high coaching, and experience in systems that demand tactical discipline. Okonkwo fits into that profile. But there's another tie to this conversation entirely. As we open the door wider for these players trained abroad, we quietly narrow the door for homegrown players, goalkeepers, midfielders, strikers. The local league has traditionally produced options, but in recent years, trust has shifted. I mean, back in the days when we had Odegbami, Yekini, we had a lot of them, Sunday Mba, Vincent Inyama. We have players we could rely on. Even Austin JJ Okocha at some point started locally. There were times, like I said, when the league produced players for national team, and then from there we transitioned to times when we lobbied that MPFL players should be invited to the national team. And now we are at the stage where 1 year, one camp opens, there are no local players, another camp, we are lobbying. This is the stage we are right now. Selection is now leaning now towards players developed abroad, not just because of talent, but because of perceived reliability and exposure. So this is not just about recruitment, it's a shift in philosophy, it's a shift in trust, it's a shift in what works, and it's also a dent on how well we have prepared, how well we have developed sport in our country. Arthur Okonkwo, if you ask me, might not be a household name yet. I mean, we've not gotten to the stage where, Arthur Okonkwo, but this is the kind of signing that shapes the future quietly. And if things go right, if all things go equal, I mean, if it doesn't turn out to be Maduka Okoye when we give him the chance, Nigeria might just have found the next long-term goalkeeper. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Remember to join me again next week for another episode of A Time in Nigerian Football.